Blessed love, everyone. Welcome to My Opinion. Your host, DJ Blue, and Richie Rich is in the building. You understand me? So today's topic is going to be about crime, and we like to focus on things that we know about and we can speak of. And we're going to be focusing on Jamaica crime and violence, right? And we want...
Because we can't go worldwide because worldwide is just too broad.
Understand. So right now, if you're just logging in, blessed love, like, share, subscribe. You know the right thing to do.
Welcome, Stephanie. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are
Good evening, everybody.
Well, Stephanie, you're late, you know. You're late, like from yesterday where you just a forward.
Take a while. May I bring a lot of body with me. So it took a while.
What the rest of people when we hear and discussing at the group with and so them want to have a conversation.
Yeah, everybody else.
I think I need to remind people no. So maybe send a message to say the meeting is going on now.
Yeah, right. Cool.
I leave that for you at the ringleader. You know?
What? Oh, I don't be a talk a ringleader.
And you provoke the crowd sometime. Every day I provoke people and they just laugh.
Me?
And this is My Opinion with Richie Rich. Stephanie just jumping in from the Benelux group. The Jamaicans in the Benelux, whatever they want to pronounce this something, right? So
Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg.
All right, so
Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg social group.
But hold on, Stephanie, I want sheep you just go kill a while ago.
I tell you, my husband said may I come over the wall. From Game of Thrones, the outfit that they wore.
Yeah.
If me want come over the wall. If other, but it's very comfortable. I left Jamaica in 2013 and I went to Spain. I did my MBA, and that was when I had a lot of realization, and I but it like eureka moment.
Yeah.
Where I noticed that the Jamaica brand is big. And when I say big, I mean bigger than...
It's huge.
Every single thing it's so humongous. And I never know until I was in Spain. I was studying my MBA. And this is an international school, you know, somebody there with Israelis and Egyptians and every country. It was 150 different countries in my cohort. So every country was represented. And whenever I go anywhere I go with somebody and them tell where them come from, everybody's like, oh, okay, nice. But when I mention Jamaica,
yeah.
The whole place blew.
Yeah.
That was what started opening my eyes to the fact that outside of Jamaica, we are crazy big. And I think around that time too, Usain Bolt was like blowing up the place. Then them always talk about Bob Marley and stuff. And it's huge. So I started to have this different level of appreciation and start to think about Jamaica in a whole different light. I get very defensive in terms of the brand and stuff. So maybe I take it a little too far. But
so. I think we need some fanatics. Every other cause has fanatics. So I think
all right, so
Jamaica needs some fanatics.
Can I interject to all the people and the fanatics and the eureka moments have now? So since as I think we are the one that going to be having this talk today because everyone is not going to be coming here. I would like to start it officially. So
okay.
Blessed love, everyone. This is My Opinion with Richie Rich, Stephanie, DJ Blue is here. Now, the topic today is going to be crime, and we're going to be specific on what part of the world we are going to be addressing, and we only can talk about what we know. So we're going to be addressing Jamaica and crime alone in Jamaica. So when you comment or you make any kind of reference, we're talking about crime and violence in Jamaica. So Stephanie, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us where in Jamaica are you from?
Okay, so my name is Stephanie. I am born and raised in Spanish Town. There's this little community called Lime Tree Grove. It's very close to Lake Spen, which is a very, what you call it, one of those ghetto areas. And it's on the way to Portmore. So you have to pass along my avenue to get to, what you call it, Caribbean Estate and those developments that eventually pop up. After that, I left though. Once I turned 18, I went to the university and moved out of Spanish Town. But Spanish Town is near and dear to my heart. I've left Jamaica back in 2013, so I've left there now for 10 years. Whoa, oh my gosh.
Richie Rich, I want you to tell us, introduce yourself, tell me where in Jamaica are you from?
Wow, all over. My name is Richard Wedderburn, aka Richie. Some call me the professor. Member of Team Entertainment Tribe, yeah, man. And maybe for the first time people see me, but I've been around. I was born in Westmoreland, in the country of Jamaica, Stavlamar Hospital. I grew up in Sheffield, Miguel area, Grinnell, Hanover, Lucy. My mom is from Hanover. My father is from Westmoreland. So I spent a lot of time in those places. Teenage years, I migrated to Kingston, and I spent probably close to 20 years in Kingston and the other eastern parishes, Portland, St. Thomas. So I've been around the whole country.
And how old are you? And how old are you now?
18.
Okay, so but if he's 18, he wouldn't have any real concept of or real knowledge of what.
Yeah, let me, a quick clue. I was born in the 70s. I'm a 70s.
So you're old enough. So you were in the 80s?
Uncle Richard, if I call him then.
I was around in the 80s. Yes, I was around.
Were you born in the 80s?
Who?
You.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we have some form of understanding. Stephanie, can you turn your camera back on? So we have
When I look too.
She's probably.
Man, they look all right, man. Just stop. Because nobody eat no more food, man. I crave your crave. No.
But you know,
we want to have a constructive conversation. We don't necessarily need to agree with each other. But the first question I'm going to throw out is, what do you think causes crime in Jamaica?
Wow. That's a very broad, sweeping question, because crime has so many layers, so many levels, so many different names. Breaking of any law is a crime or a felony. Any law you do. It's not just murders that is a crime. But
violent crimes. Let me rephrase it. What do you think causes violent crime in Jamaica?
All right. Can I take that question? All right. I came across a recording done by a gentleman called Akala. He's a British Jamaican. He is born to a Scottish mom and a Jamaican father. And I was listening to him talking on Piers Morgan, which is a well-known conservative station in the UK. And what he said was very striking to me, and I think this could answer the question. He said the social indicators of violent crime is something that has been around for over 200 years. That's what the statistics show. And they are lack of education. Let me see. So it was lack of education, exposure to domestic violence, relative poverty, and masculinity. Those are the 4 social indicators, he said, in any community that have, and it's not Black community or white, like any community across ethnicity, These are the four main indicators that you see are what you'd call not just causative relationship, but not just what you call it seems as if it's causing. So lack of education, poverty, relative poverty, not just poverty, but relative poverty, masculinity, and exposure to domestic violence. Now, masculinity, why?
Let me stop you for 1 second and rephrase the question.
Sure.
The question is, you are, all right, before I ask the question again, you are a Jamaican, you were born in one of these inner city, so you have first-hand knowledge to some extent. We don't need to ask someone that maybe not been there. We are focusing on Jamaica. The question, Stephanie, like, what do you think from your personal experience, because you are from an inner city community, causes crime, violent crimes in Jamaica?
Those are they. That's the thing. So okay, let me break it down simpler. Lack of education. I really believe that majority of the people that are coming out of the school system, their persons are not coming out as productive citizens. They're not coming out with what would be required for them to either get a trade or to land a job. So the fact that they're not educated means that the opportunities that might be there for them to actually work and be gainfully employed is not there. So that means they come out, they need to pay them bills, they need to eat food, and they don't have the opportunity to make money, to earn anything. So the lack of.
So you're saying that if somebody is educated, right, and they are in a position to make a contribution to society, that, in other words, idle hands are the devil's playground. They would be more, their time would be better spent on the grind, on working, on making a living, rather than
because a typical man wants to provide. That's how a man is, an average man, and not. So let us just always keep, when I'm talking, it's average. An average man wants to take care of himself or his family or his loved one, and at the end of the day, and that's an inherent trait, yeah. And if him can't do that, if him can't pay for the bills, if him can't put food on the table, him have to do it, you know. It's just a matter of how him going to find it. So if there is no means for him to find it, that's how you're going to get violent crimes. Him going to go out there and, yeah, because him not know any better, he doesn't have the opportunity to get. But I'm not saying that all uneducated people are like this. I'm just saying this increases the probability of violent crime. So I don't want people to think, oh, because me not educated or me never go to university, I'm going to be. No, but what it's saying is the likelihood or majority of the persons that you will see doing violent crimes tend to have low education. So that's one. Then the other one is masculinity.
But pause it, Stephanie, before you go. You see, the flip side to that statement that you just made, the ones that have a lower level of education tends to be the ones that have a higher probability of ending up committing violent crime. The flip side to that is that the ones that are very highly educated are the ones capable of planning the more sophisticated crime.
Fair enough.
Let's not go there.
Who are lower educated. So we have now covered the gamut of that spectrum. Let's move to our next
let's finish what she's saying, and then we're going to ask her to the same question to you, and then we get back to that point. So Stephanie just pointed out that people that are less educated sometimes
are the foot soldiers and the more educated ones.
So continue, Steph.
The other one is masculinity. What we've noticed is that quite a number of persons who are in prisons are males. You have a way larger population of males in prison than than women. And the women that tend to be in prison are not necessarily for violent crimes. They tend to be in for either fraud or non-aggressive crimes.
Crimes, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
So
are you speaking
and
about
so
Yeah.
Jamaica?
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yes. And this is what I'm saying. It's not just a Jamaica thing. This is a thing that
What I'm
But
saying, what
Jamaica example, you understand that, but you can just say
no,
Jamaica
I'm saying it is Jamaica as well, but it is any
same
community, but it is specifically Jamaica. In Jamaica, there's way more men in prison than female. A lot more.
like 5
that's a fact. Yeah.
The ratio
Yeah?
is five for every 5 males in prison, there is 1 female. That's a
Yes.
5
And most of the females are not there for
crime.
not a lot of them are there for violent crimes. They're there for less violent crimes than. So for example, the likelihood of someone coming in and robbing you is the men going to do it. It's not necessarily women. And you see this play out in Jamaica because a lot of times the men are who would I would normally in Jamaica when I would drive from Portmore or Spanish Town into Kingston, I would go through the back road through downtown and stuff to get to New Kingston to avoid traffic. And 90% of the time when you pass through these communities, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you see the men sitting there idle, not doing much. These are young men who, yes, you hardly see the females out there not being proactive because most times than not, the females are at home either pregnant with the kids or helping out in the house, or they're the ones working. But most times than not, the men are, and these are young guys, no? The young men are not being, I don't know, they're not being addressed or being mentored properly at the necessary age for them not to go in that direction.
All right.
So that's the second one. Then you have domestic violence. A lot of times, Jamaicans, almost everyone growing up in my time period, or perhaps Rich's period of time, we know beating. We know beating. Actually, we know beating from primary school days.
We know beat it too well.
Exactly. And so this is normalized. It's normalized as part of violence, is normalized as part of living. It's okay. It's normal.
So you
And so
stated
we don't.
you stated a few points. Now I'm going to throw the question directly to Richie to hear his perspective on this. What do you think causes crime and violence in Jamaica, like violent crimes? We're not going to be, is like the real violent crimes that are really getting out of control. What do you think causes this? Because you're an elder person and you have been around. What do you think causes it?
I've been around now for close to half of a century, yes. I have seen the society change over the past 4 decades drastically, dramatically. Back in the day, if you had one murder, be it an accidental murder, or let's say even one untimely death, a man drowned, lost at sea or something, it would be carried along the grapevine, and the grapevine in those days was the people who travel from one end of the country to the other, either the truck drivers, the market people, the people who had to move around, and that's how basically news around. And until the daily news was then the paper of the of the day, a few people could afford to buy a paper because even have money to spend to buy a paper.
Yeah.
It's talked about for a long time. One death, untimely death, will be talked about for weeks. So to move from that to 10 a day is a big switch and a big swing. And I don't know if it's because, as Stephanie said earlier, that people have become unempathetic. You beat the spot too long till you stop feeling the pain. We are so used to seeing dead bodies now that it don't mean nothing to us anymore until, of course, it's a close friend or family member. And then we ball for a few days. And then we move on. People don't even talk about the people now for more than 24 hours. As soon as the concrete don't even dry over you, them start fight over the spoil. But the crime situation has changed. Lack of employment over the years because Jamaica has always predominantly been a farming and small, what you call skills, a skills-based country. People who do the little carpentry, the masonry, the plumbing, the little electrician, and blah, 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 coming along. But over the years, all of those things have changed. I wouldn't even know if them improve or drop off. But now you need hard certification, you need this, you need that. So the society has grown, has moved along. You don't find so many people getting into those mode of work or even training. And there is reason for that. There is the follow-up to having trained the lack of employment. And employment is empowerment. And with the lack of empowerment and lack of employment, the idle hands are the devil's playground. People are going to sit down and they will study a craft and they are going to try to figure out more creative ways of making a living.
Okay, so my next question, Richie, we're going to cut you short on that. My next question would be, all right, for Stephanie, and then I'll get back to you with it. Yeah? In your opinion, Stephanie, do you think people from the 80s, from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and today, from that time till now, do you think they are more educated or less educated?
Oof. I don't know. I don't know. What I've found, I was the first to get into university from my family. And I think that's the case for a lot of people, that the grandma or the mother, unless you grew up in some affluent family. But if you come from the ghetto from the 80s, most times than not, your parent is quite likely never got to university. And the value of it wasn't really appreciated back then until recently. So when you say educated, I guess you need to perhaps explain then what level of educated you mean, because coming out of high school, you'd be educated, but then higher education like tertiary level.
Okay, let's. Can I before you switch it?
They can read well and they can write well.
Can I contribute before you switch it?
Mm-hmm.
What has changed in education over the years is that people are taught less and less how to think and more how to do. Gone are the days when you did courses where you were required. All right. Let me even switch that a little bit. In Jamaica, you are taught data entry. You are taught to type and how to put in data. You are taught to function as a worker. While somebody who goes to a European institution will be taught how to develop concepts and to do project management. Now, they don't do it in Jamaica, but in Jamaica, you are not taught how to start your own business and the value of money and make your own money. You're taught how to go to work for somebody, to build a company for somebody else, so that somebody else makes the money and you make a.
But Richie, the question is, we want to stay on topic so we're not straight. If it's too much,
and the contributing factor to violence.
Yeah. So
all of
these. Yeah, I understand that, man. But the question is to keep it in our close region, so we're not go too vague. It's like from the 80s till now, do you think more people know how to read, write, and all of these stuff? Have a basic understanding of what they should do?
No. The days when reading, writing, and arithmetic was the order of the day were much better days than nowadays. Nowadays, people see paper with a lot of words, and they're telling you, what are you doing? Where are you going with that? I'm not interested. Give me a screen.
Okay, Stephanie.
I think there's a higher level of persons graduating from universities now than they were back then. Majority of them are females, because when I was attending UA in 2005, the ratio of male to female was 7 females to 70% females to 70% females to 30% males at the time.
Mhm.
Give or take. So what I think is a lot of persons are coming out of the universities and stuff, and then you have programs like our Trust NTA that really step up and provide opportunities for persons who fell by the wayside and stuff. I think
instant message short codes in a English paper.
Sorry?
People in universities in Jamaica, University of the West Indies, and UTech are writing instant message short codes, LOL, in English papers and handing it to English lecturers.
Yeah, but that's quality of the teaching. What he's asking. So the quality of the teaching is a different discussion. He's asking.
We want to keep the topic very like.
Yeah. So his question is, are there more educated people now than then? And I'm saying, I'm seeing a lot more graduates.
Yeah.
In terms of the persons coming out of the high school, I believe that there are more persons falling by the wayside coming out of the high school who don't matriculate to the. So I'm seeing more persons, especially females, going on to the tertiary level. But on average, overall, I think more and more people are falling by the wayside, coming out of the high school with nothing to show for it. And what I want to get at is, it's one thing to can read and write. It's another thing to be able to apply that to actually do job good, which is what I think Richie was trying to get at. So read and write, you can read and write, but if you ask somebody to explain what to say, simple things like in order to reason so that they can perhaps type in or file the documents properly, they might not be able to do it. So what I would say is, a lot of people are coming out of high school not able to be productive citizens. Maybe they can read and write, maybe they can talk, whatever, but they can't be productive to really earn money for them, which would then lead them to violence.
So now you go straight into the point that Richie was trying to make, that the school system has been failing a lot of people. So you go to school now and you learn. A lot of people before in the 80s and these people couldn't read and write. They don't have understanding. Your grandmother, your grandparents, they couldn't do this. Most of them couldn't. So they put effort in us.
But Blue, that is even making it the picture even more grim. The people coming out of the 1670s and 80s who never had the benefit of back in those days, they used to call it first book and second book and third book. Yeah, I'm very old. First book, second book. If third book, people were actually up to the level of college, and they were the ones who went back and became teachers and nurses and police and people of that's that level in society. Second book was like you spent a few years in second book. That was real high school sixth form education. You understand what I'm saying? And those people, the people who never went to school and couldn't read and write, you still couldn't count money better than them.
The problem that I'm saying, the thing that I'm stating, we are talking a generality. We're not talking about like a few people that could.
People with numbers. That's
not the thing now, yeah. So then a lot of people couldn't read and write well. Now a lot of people can. But are you saying that the schooling system are teaching us to read and write, but when we are finished with school, they didn't teach us to apply anything to get a job? You get where I'm coming from?
That's exactly.
No, because in order to get a job in Jamaica, you have to have CXC. So read and write don't mean anything if you don't have 5 subjects to land the job.
No, at that point, what about the people that are there with 11 subjects and cannot get a job? The reason being they can't get the job because they're overqualified.
Perspective. Overqualified.
Alana, I'm telling you like specific implication. All right, you cannot work at a gas station if you have a level subject. They're not going to hire you. You can't work in a supermarket. You can't work in a wholesale.
Yeah, but that's one easy problem. If you have 11 subjects, you can easily go a student loan, get one loan, and go a UA and UTech. Or go Archos NTA and apply for a higher associate degree or degree, and then try for a higher job. And going at entry level.
We're going to talk about the proximities right now. All right. What are the qualifications do you need to get a student loan?
Lord jeez, this is how much years ago. But you don't.
So then, how much?
You just need to be accepted to a school. There's no qualification.
So how much people will get this chance to do it?
Honestly, I really believe that because I got student loan and I did it all on my own. So it's not something that is extremely difficult. I really believe that it's a good opportunity for ghetto people who really are trying. The only challenge I think is that you have to find two people who have a job to guarantee. And when I was growing up, it was hard for me to find family members because of course every one of them have job where show the salary slip. And so that was a problem for me. But what I believe is if you really want it, you figure it out. And I really wanted it. And so I figured it out. I don't think that is a problem like someone who don't have the subject. Because if you have a level subject, it means that you're smart enough to can sit down and be resourceful. I think that's just you not being resourceful.
So we are talking about the probability. We are talking about we are keep it general, not for the exception, because you want exception now. Because then I'm going to say this: a lot of people are not taking the risk to put them name down as what I call it, as for you. They're not. A lot of people now are not doing it because people had tried it. A lot of people had succeeded in this because a lot of people get stuck with a lot of stuff. So we have to understand this.
That they end up have to pay back for other persons. Just say it like
so then a lot of people are not going to take this. So now what do we do about people with all of these subjects, right?
Can I ask a question? This is why is it that we consider people to be overqualified and then shut them out of a possibility of coming into their own, and then have basically we have those people who go do badness. You understand? In my opinion, you basically have push them people. If the society continues to shut out overqualified people, let's reposition now. If the society continues to shut out people who are overqualified, we are now creating a whole group of people that is available to the underworld for badness.
Honestly, and maybe I'm just belittling it, but because maybe I don't know a lot of information on it, but I really don't think that these people represent a large percentage of the population that would be doing violent crimes. I really don't think those are the ones, because as you mentioned, you know, two people you said, and those two people eventually dumb down themselves and go get a job. So instead of going to kill somebody or rob someone, they rather dumb down themselves and go get the job still. So I don't see them, I see it as a problem. So it's a different problem, but I don't see these people as a large percentage of those who will lead to violent crimes. If it is that you don't have no subject and you can get no job, even if you try dumb down yourself or smart up yourself and you're still without the job, these are the people, and there are a large percentage of them, I think, that are coming out of school and just don't have the opportunity, don't have the know-how, the papers or anything to land any job. Or they might get a job, but them don't want a job there because by the time they forget pay at £2.
I can agree with you to some extent, but there was a study that was done, yeah? And the
who carried out the study?
GP, right? How much the amount of prisoners, male prisoners, yeah, that are in prison, that are highly educated, that went to most of the top high school them in Jamaica. And it almost like this.
All right.
Yeah, but relative to the others,
One of the issues, sorry, second.
because a number by itself, an absolute number by itself is irrelevant. What was that percentage to the percentage of?
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Looking at a fraction. All right. The percentage of the society that is involved in badness, let's call it that, is minuscule. We don't have 500,000 criminals in Germany out of a population of 2.98 million people. Yeah. So we don't have 500,000 people down there involved in the underworld and all these other nefarious activities. What we can, however, look at is the distribution of the population distribution, and where we see the hotbed of criminal activities springing up and taking place. And what we realize is that these are mostly urban centers. If you look back from 70s, 80s coming up, it's mostly urban centers where crime and violence seem to be a day-to-day activity. In other words, Donga country was always easy going.
Nice.
Yeah. However, we fast forward to 2016.
No, but that argument is a little flawed though, Richie, because urban centers tend to have majority of the population. And so the country, them time there, did have maybe what? 5% of the population. Everybody did in a Kingston and Spanish Town.
3% got 3% of the population was always referred to as the top 3 tertiary educated. So it was always at 3% of the population that end up going to the UE and the CAS and UTEC and all those places. We find that the gang or organization of young people into criminal activities always, for the most part, was concentrated in urban centers, in Kingston, in Montego Bay, and by extension, inner city communities, because the only time you find the rich people getting involved in gang activities and these things is when they either go to a school in the inner city, or they have friends in the inner city that they hang with, and then they get moved along with the flow. You understand? That's just my personal, view on how I see a progression and a degrading of the society over 3 decades.
I have a question. I have a question. I want to put Stephanie and you, Richie, on the spot. Stephanie, what would cause you, if you're in an inner city community, in the state of how the affair of Jamaica going now, right? Same place, De La Vega City, Lime Tree Lane, say you come from?
Lime Tree Grove, go man, but you what other?
No, so
you're
in Lime Tree Grove now. All right. What do you think would drive you to commit a crime if you were there?
What would that drive me?
I said the circumstances that could drive you to a crime if you were living there in the present situation now. What do you think could drive you to commit?
I don't want to answer such a question because I don't want to think of myself as any criminal. What I will answer is what would drive a typical person in the ghetto community. I will answer such a question, but when I answer no question about what would drive me if you can commit no crime.
To turn to a life of crime. I know what would cause me to turn to a life of crime. If you take away my mom.
At the start, Stephanie is going around it, but
I don't know what you're trying.
How do you think will cause someone else to commit a violent crime in a situation like this?
Retaliation. Somebody hurt them family, and so them want to get back at them for, especially if them see it happen, like them, so them know, or so like some family member pass away because of some gang over there. So most times are not is gang violence, no? And them say somebody over there so come commit something, and so them want to do some form of retaliation. That's one. Violent crime too is most of what is happening is the scamming and the murdering and stuff, and them a thief, rob people. And I think that
retaliation, but not only retaliation is
hold on there, Richard. Make Stephanie finish and then we get to you. Finish, Steph.
So I think that is one, retaliation. The other one I think is forget money. Like people broke and them need to eat and them not eat. Them need to pay them bills, them need stuff, them want to buy things. Them can't, they want to take care of them family, them need to pay school fee, them have kids. So I think that is another thing where we'll push a man for go try and rob, and them go with a gun, and then anything might happen. I don't know if people actually go rob with the intention, oh my God, go kill that shopkeeper there. I think them just maybe trigger happy in at the moment or something. But
Somebody put up guns.
Because the video were up on the other where you was you did send it? The video that sent Sunday morning to us. It's a crime where they were robbing. So it's a money them go for. Money for themselves, for go do whatever they want to do. So most of what you're seeing there, I think, is money or retaliation. That's the two things that stand out for me.
Richie, same question.
What would cause somebody to turn to a lie?
No, not somebody. The question was what caused you. Are you going to do the same thing that Steph do?
We are not criminals. Don't answer that question.
I'm saying I'm putting you into a situation. I'm putting you into.
Me don't want to put my foot in that situation. Me have to put my foot out of that situation.
You
Take
might
your
not
foot out.
You might want to face it, Stephanie, but all of us as human beings have a capacity to be angry.
Okay.
And the outlet for that anger can be a violent act. Now, as a parent, if somebody touch your pitney, you're going to lose it. You're going to see red, and you're going to want blood.
Yeah, but 90% of the crime were happening in the ghetto and in Jamaica. I don't know people are touch them pitney.
But when a parent loses...
Richie, we don't want to stray too much.
No, we're not.
Go back. No, don't trouble Stephanie. I'm going to trouble Stephanie first. Hold on, I'm Stephanie. Why you
trouble me?
Hold on, what?
What would that cause me to turn to violence? I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
If my weakness or my soft spot is my blood, the pitney.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I will go to Yanda Gallas. Okay? And see you with my pitney because
I find that on the map. What that name?
I will say it. The Paul Bogle or a subshot. Sabi say it. Say
What?
go to the
hang on Yanda Gallas and living a life of slavery.
Slavery. It's a well-known saying. It all give me goosebumps.
So okay, so for you, Richie, you're saying that
that's just one. That's just one. No, the man at the ghetto, we're hungry enough, will thief.
Yeah.
Yeah? The man we're hungry enough, will thief. I'm not talking when one of them walk by night and take off people close off a line and watch the hunger to dry. I talk about people thief food. You understand me? And if it's difficult enough, you know, you have the prayer last which is rampant. That when you go and you feel and you think gone, you're gonna get mad. If you know who, you're gonna go for him. And then you're gonna commit a criminal act. And that could also be justified. But in the sense of organized criminal behavior in terms of
we're not going to
warfare and those kind of things. It's kind of, you know, up road versus bottom road, east versus. There's always some territory and that have a different thing behind it, that have a different engine to push it.
Richie, the thing that I'm saying, we want to keep it like specific, so we don't go too broad. So the question, we want to give it specific to the question. So Stephanie just a while ago go around and a question I ask her. I said she don't want. So Stephanie, I want to put you back on the spot again. I'm going to ask you a different question. Yeah. The question now is, what if you were a vendor? And I'm going to name a few vending that you could have done. You sell clothes downtown, or you jerk chicken over Portmore, or you scheme. And police come and take away your goods.
See, come Caesar.
Mash up everything. You have 3 kids to go school and them in a high school. You have no baby father. No. We're going to put you in a man position. You are the father. Mother don't work anywhere. You have 3 kids. Yeah?
And a wife.
You have to come in every night, every day with the money to buy food. I said,
The first question I'm gonna ask is, why did the police come and tear down the thing? Coming at the right spot?
Probably. Let's say you were in the right spot.
I'm at the right spot.
Okay.
So you see, that's the thing with people who are educated and educated, because the man are gonna be vexed, but the last time I mustn't the right so me must hustle because how me I go hustle so that me there at the right spot.
So but the last hustle, it's soft. No business, no sell. Nobody will walk past if you buy a piece of chicken in once in every 2 hours. Around a one back to the stomach with nobody not come.
No, but think about it. If everybody actually go where them supposed to go, then nobody will be at the spot where people them are gonna go, and then the people them are gonna eventually go around there. That is the mindset. So
we're gonna fix it again. We're gonna fix it again, Stephanie. Right?
Location is the key to success in most businesses, especially a walk-in related business.
Richie, if it is that Igloring is supposed to be at one particular spot and everybody follow the rule, if every single body follow the rule, then the customer will go at the place where they're not supposed to go. Now go to nobody. And then them are going to say, oh yeah, me need to go around there. So then
are you talking about instance?
One man break the rule, then them are going to come around and then
So question is, me go answer to, me go ask you a question on what you just said, but me go put the situation a little bit different. With the downtown, right? You have 5,000 people selling clothes and food. There's a market with the capacity of 1,000. How do you fit 5,000 people in the 1,000?
In a market.
That's another. You rent them space per period. So you say you get two Saturdays for that man, and 2 Saturdays for the other man. Go ahead.
How often do you eat?
Stephanie, they don't do this, Stephanie.
How
often do you eat? That is not in place, Stephanie. No,
but you asked me what would I do. Somebody tell us what would I do?
No. You are not the person creating the law. You're the person selling. What would you do then?
Oh, so maybe 1,000 or 5, maybe part of 5,000.
No, you're not in the 1,000. You're in the 5,000, but the 1,000 in the place where you earn your money.
So me not in the 1,000 where they in the shop.
Them have their space long time.
Yeah, newcomer.
Me what? They lick them.
Newcomer.
Then I go to my counselor and ask him where I do for the 4,000, and if him can't give me a good thing, then me vote in the next man who gonna tell me.
Which country are talking about? Jamaica?
Eat food.
No, but honestly, my mindset is this. And my mindset is I create my own opportunities. Me grow up very, 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 very not rich. And so
Stephanie, I'm gonna stop it right there. So you're killing yourself with this argument. You say you create your own opportunities. So these people that can't go into the market started creating them own opportunities because food have to eat.
No, but me never did go no, listen, no. I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that.
Talk about the
because may I tell you for a fact when we know, if it is that you want it to work, it will work, and you will sit down and figure it out, and you don't have to go to no crime. For me to get, let me go back to the student loan argument. For me to get student loan, I had to come from Spanish Town. I don't know Kingston. I don't even know a student loan there. I never even know a student loan existed until the last day. I had to stand up in a one line when the student loan line got all the way out of the building, go downstairs. Our student loan, you have to take elevator. I was in that line. I refused to leave because the lady told me, say, if you stay in the line, I left that student loan place by midnight to put in that application. And then I never have nobody to sign. Nobody to sign. Because I never have no family member where have any job. And me get it. Oh, me get it.
That's a question. How did you get it?
Share the
go around on my bed.
So
when you want something what you need.
Determination.
I'm saying it's the mindset. It's the mindset because let me tell you something. That same day, one of my distant uncle, when me never know about, when me eventually figure out me know, me beg him to sign and him agree. This about after me ask 1 trillion people.
Mm-hmm.
The Sunday before the meeting, Monday, where the man for going, the man called me and tell me say him now go do it for this area, cause some crap with some family argument.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, the man for come in Monday morning come sign, and the Sunday evening the man called me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in so much panic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my beg friend.
Mm-hmm.
Me call him a big friend. I'm gonna tell you something. It was so easy to get it when we call my friend. It's like me balloon it up in my head. I say, I wonder if me can call this a man here. It's a one man when me don't know from the man don't know me. And I called him that evening. I'm say, may I ask you something? Me just put it out there. The man just easily said, of course. And all this time in my head, I was thinking people just need to want it. Me end up to go back home 1 o'clock in the morning, to go back in when me don't know where me there.
Stephanie, I want to ask you a question.
I think it's a different mindset, sweetie. I honestly do.
I want to ask you a question, right? We're going to talk in generality and percentage, right? How much, and we're not talking about feelings now, we are talking about like factuality, isn't it? How much of these people that really want to do it will get the opportunity like this for someone to say, all right, never do it? Just say how a lot of them ask, how much of them do you think are going to get someone to sign?
100% if them want it.
How much people there that work and will actually do it?
100% if them want it. If the mindset is there to really want it, nothing can stop them. And I believe that with all of my...
So Blue. The rules don't have changed nowadays.
No, the question is, right? We have how much children leave school. So for instance, we have 100% high school graduates that need student loans, right? We're just going to use a rough percentage. 100% of high school graduates that need student loan. Now, how much of them will actually get someone to co-sign for them to get it?
We don't need a co-signer anymore, Blue. But
I'm not saying at that time.
No, that is so good.
They
Blue,
don't need...
what I'm saying to you is, what I really think is failing in the community, in the ghetto community, is someone to make people open them eyes to, because it's one thing to teach them to read, it's another thing to teach them to believe and have determination. And that is not there. The mentoring is not there at all for the youths. And that,
Stephanie, if you give people hopes and dreams, Stephanie, if you give people aspiration, give them a goal, they will go after it. But what lately we have been seeing a lot of people reaching out to grab the goal, and it just comes smoke in front of them.
No. And then you grab it again, because not come easy. What is worthwhile never come easy. No, that is my mindset, and that is what has driven me to where me there.
All right.
So,
this is really a individualistic approach to a problem solving.
No,
hold on.
I don't think so.
We have been looking at things so far in this conversation from our own perspective. Yeah. I would like to kick it up a notch by saying, look at it from a government's perspective. So now you're not responsible for you yourself and you alone, but you're responsible for the nation as a whole. Not just
honestly, God, all of the politicians them were me seeing in Jamaica, they're first party politics than people. So no politician that I have seen, I think maybe Portia, but she never too smart. But and Michael Manley.
I will not allow you to diss a female on this.
Yeah, fair enough, but our heart was in the right place, more so than anybody else. But Michael Manley, but outside of that, no politician go into power right now in Jamaica with the intention to help people. They're going there with the intention to be party people, politics people, and then the people them eventually might get help.
It has always been the party take care of the party members first. And that has always...
So we're going to keep the goalposts at one place. So we're not
what we are saying, does the political framework or the status of the politics in Jamaica influence or contribute to the violence and the crime in any way?
That's a good question.
Repeat the question, could you please?
Does our political framework or the status of the politics in Jamaica, is it a contributing factor to the level of crime?
This is my take on it. This is my take on that question. The politicians rely on the illiteracy of the people for them to further their party politics people agenda. And so, because I saw a video where this guy was complaining that one party come and offer him goat. The party offer the community goat, and the next man offer them money. And the people then pick the money and don't take the goat. This is something so simple. So simple. The goat are lifelong. There is this saying that says, teach a man how to fish and he will never go hungry. Yeah? So this party man, I don't want to call on him because I don't want to say me for this or for that. But one party offer goat and the other party offer $2,000 and the people them take the goat. The same situation. One party offer one school and the other party offer the money and the people them take the money. What that means? It means then that the people are so illiterate that they're not realizing the deals that are being presented to them. So when a politician come to them and say, may I get this and this, them not have the intelligence to know, say, this option is better. Yeah, the money now will come in my pocket, but it will come in my pocket for you immediately, but it will come as a stream. The intelligence is not there. So at the end of the day, it still goes back to the illiteracy of the people. That's my thing.
I want to stop you for a minute, Stephanie, and we are move the goalposts for a minute and we are move it all kind of place. But we can press a little intro. So, but all right, two things. Now, I said to what, because we have this argument with all people living away from Jamaica a lot of times, and you made a valid point, Stephanie. The government
Just one.
The government want literate people. Literate people doesn't make a good citizen. You know what I mean? They have to keep them dumb. No.
But when is a person not when they can read and write, or when they understand what the book says?
No. This is where keeping people under the line of poverty is very good, because if you're not poor and in need, you would not accept a $2,000 or a goat.
No, it's not poor. It's if you're not smart for no.
And that's another. All right, I talk to this youth for another ghetto already, right? And me and him have this big thing, because me have an argument with him and I said, brother, if me to block the road to make the road better, yeah, and you now block the road with me to get a better road, but when me block the road and don't make no money, and me get the better road because me they stand up, why you if you come right on this road? You know what him said to me? Yeah, brother, but me did have picnic for feed, this for feed, and me couldn't. And me look on it this way and me show them say, yo, guess what, bro? At the same thing, the government make sure so you're in need, so they can come to you. You could have been literate more, but you are dead for hungry. That's the only time they can come to you and give you $2,000 because my belly hungry and me have picnic for feed, so we take it. If me not take it, me I go dead for hungry. So you go to
saying then.
No, remember, so that $2,000 there no is not your income. That $2,000 there are extra something where you get.
Most people don't have an income in Jamaica.
No, what I'm saying is, if it was an election time normally come for sweeten deals. It's your normal way of life is happening. Then election comes, so it's not affecting your. Election tend to be additional.
Stephanie, a lot of people in Jamaica, if you believe it or not, don't have a 9 to 5, regular 9 to 5.
I know that, but them hustle. I know that because I have family members who don't have 9 to 5 and them hustle.
Because what do you refer to as hustling? Because a carpenter is not hustling and a mason going to build house is not hustling. That's a job. You may not be registered with the way you call it, Chamber of Commerce, and the paying taxes on that income, but that's not hustling, is it?
In my definition of hustle is just to do the work to get some money in.
Like what kind
Legally. Me not talk no illegal, nothing.
Without
So it would include carpenter, like what you just mentioned, or it would even include the higgler man where you say the police rob him things them. It's just anybody who try make it with what them have, the resources that are available. That's how I see it.
All right, so we don't want to have too much vague stuff, so we're going to have one more question, and we know Stephanie has to go, and we're going to keep our next one, and we're going to Stephanie again, because we see Stephanie very passionate about Jamaica, because she's going to learn to be passionate in a space.
So, Stephanie, I would really like to engage a conversation and we talk some more about Brand Jamaica and some of the stuff that is happening in relation to Brand Jamaica. But let's do that at another.
Let's choke the last question that we have on paper, and we're going to go with Stephanie. Ladies first, right? So Stephanie, like you're smiling, okay?
But love how you love put upon the black like that.
Ladies first, but if you were the president or the prime minister of Jamaica, what would you do now to change the level of crime that's going on to make a difference?
I don't believe that the solution for Jamaica is a one-stop thing. I think it's a holistic approach. I think it includes not a prime minister issue, it's a PNP, JLP come together as a government issue. So it's a bipartisan action that includes to bring in the companies as well and everything. I really believe it needs to be holistic at that level in terms of everybody being involved and a buy-in to the policies. And as I said to you, to address the 4 things that are the problem. Education. I really, really, really believe that education or lack of the education is a big part of the problem. 2, I really think that social programs need to be done to help the guys, the men, because I mentioned masculinity and a lot of the boys there's this special age where boys transition and they get influenced into either good direction or bad direction. There's a specific age for that. It's around like 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a very delicate age for young boys. And if them not have the right mentorship at that time, they might go the wrong way. So I really think there needs to be social programs to help the guys to, like, when them come home, most times than not, nobody not there in the house. Nobody not there with them. Nobody not there to help them with them homework. So I think like community centers or something like that to help in every community.
I want to stop and I want to kind of get a specific answer in the line of the question. If you were, I don't want to hear about anything else. If you were running the country, no.
Let me tell you what I do.
No, you're saying different stuff, but I want to know exactly what you would have put in place, like 4 plans, and this is what you're going to be set in stone that is going to improve from your perspective.
Right, so that's what is. So 1 is I would ask for a bipartisan solution. Bipartisan. I would want to work with the opposition. Yes. So I would approach my opposition for them to organize something. Yes. So I don't want it to be my party against that. I would want a bipartisan approach, including leaders of the society as well, not just PNP and JP, but also what you call them, companies as well. That's the first step. To implement certain stuff. Address the education. There is some serious problem with it in terms of the schools that are in inner cities and stuff. That needs to improve so that when people graduate from schools, they will graduate not only. So change, for example, what is accepted. So if it is that you have subjects and you have maybe a graduating certificate, that should be sufficient. Maybe, I don't know. But look into ways in which people leaving school can be productive citizens, whether it's by changing how it's doing in a city, but something needs to be done there. I don't know off the top of my head what that would be.
Improving education.
Implement so that would address education. Then it would address the masculinity problem, which is attacking the youths when they are around 10 to 15-year-old and implementing programs where when them come from school, them have something to do. Right now, when them come from school, them Lego bees. You want to put them somewhere where they are concentrated and force them. I don't care. So them have to have mandated hours where them go into these community centers and have to do them homework and do productive stuff, maybe learn masonry, learn different things, but force them to do things after school that is not outside running up and down and then get bad influenced. So that's the two.
Third one. That's the third.
The third, at least though. Then opportunities. The thing about it is there's not a lot of opportunities. So I think the community center can be somewhere where you can also teach people to create opportunities for themselves, because people were, as the Richie said, coming out of school thinking, oh, them have to work for a job, as opposed to, oh, I can actually do my own and be my own boss.
Okay, all right, no problem. So that's your 4. First one is bipartisanship. Second one is what
Education.
again?
Education.
Third one is dictation.
Dictation. Social programs.
No. If I say you call it force, you said force them. If them like it or not, you become a dictator as a prime minister right now. And then the last one is more social programming. All right. Richie, same question.
Well, firstly, I would want the people of Jamaica to feel less sold out and more empowered. So the first thing I would do is a total overhaul or restructuring of the business model. Any company starting up with a foreign investor has to be 51% Jamaican.
Right.
Visiting the brand of our brand internationally, both music wise and everything wise, brand Jamaica and a whole. Attack that really seriously and get the monies that are out there to come home. All right. I would also bring back certain things into the curriculum to strengthen things like patriotism in our youths. Then Stephanie talk about the 12, 13, 14-year-old boys. Back in the day, you used to have youth programs that really empower. You have the 4-H club, you have the boys club, you have the girl guides, the boys scout, all these organizations that really strengthen and empower different social and youth programs to make sure say target the youth them, get it right once and for all. And lastly, I would take out the fucking Chinese.
Oh my God.
So one become a dictator. One is like, what are you now, sir?
There is no way you're going to tell me that I need to take a loan from you and then turn on and give you the contract to build my road and take over my water and take over my airport and take over everything to do with me.
No, honestly, I believe that I believe it's just that the Jamaican government is not negotiating properly. But if an investor come,
negotiate on the other side's behalf as well, so they are a total sellout.
That's what I'm saying. But to bash the Chinese, it's not. You need to bash the government because they are the ones making bad deals.
No, I'm not bashing them. I'm saying Jamaica is for Jamaicans at home and abroad, and Jamaicans first. We have always had Chinese as a part of our nation.
We don't want to stray because we have to keep.
No. At the end of it all.
4 things that I would do, sir. So just please allow me to expound on my point a little bit.
Yes, you kick out the Chinese, them.
I'm not talking about mass deportation now, but that That little Chinese, that little Chinatown, that downtown Kingston is now fast becoming. Not in my cabinet, that's under my government.
So
that little town that is coming up, that is springing up down.
I'm not going to save you from
Always from a part
No,
of it.
I think no, because the thing is, investors always go into different countries and different companies. It's a matter of how investors.
Not like ants.
No, but but that's the thing. The investors are coming, and you now must be smart, because in other countries where I have lived, I've seen where the local company or the local government institute certain stuff that it forced only local workers to work.
Who is there?
one at a time.
I would have a policy of all businesses would have to be 51% Jamaican owned. So whether it's a wholesale down the road, or is a farm up there, so, or is a hotel down there, so, or whatever it is, it must be 51% Jamaican owned.
That's what I'm saying. So your argument of picking out the investors, I don't know if that, what I'm trying to say is, I understand where you're coming from, but I think the better way to say it is, whenever the investors come, be it Chinese or whomever, most of Chinese, when they come, do institute certain stuff so that when you negotiate,
negotiate equitably.
No, not even equitably. I don't even agree with that. Negotiate in a way that it ensures Jamaica interests.
Exactly.
Proceed. And that means ensuring that a minimum amount of employees are employed, a minimum of resources are remained in Jamaica, a minimum stuff like that, so that, but don't say don't take the investment. Take the investment, just negotiate better with bare minimum.
Stephanie, I'm not saying don't take the investment, but I want to make sure
that never kick them out.
I'm saying I want to make sure the Chinese are not the only investors on the planet, my sister. So don't think that if they disappear or we kick them out, nobody else will come. I can assure you, all those hotels, all those Rio and all those hotels on the North Coast,
they're Spanish investors.
They're owned by they're Spanish investors. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact is, I'm saying all businesses, be it where the foreign investor come in, they have to find. If I go to Cayman Island, you know that is the law in Cayman, right? They would have to find a Jamaican local partner, and they would have to partner, and the partner must own 51% by law. Even if a $1 I put on them, I put $20 million.
Yeah, man, I know. It's not just Cayman, it's quite a lot of other countries that do that.
Even the countries that even know.
Protect my local markets and my local players.
That's the thing. A lot of the policies that the government are coming out with is not protecting the interests.
Jamaican interests must first be protected. There's no way containers of tomatoes and all other agricultural products will be coming from overseas, and my local farmers are being punished.
So I have a last statement to make on all of these Jamaican first, which I love Jamaican first. Understand, but I'm going to throw this out there. 99% of the slaves of Jamaica or of the past are still slaves and still don't own anything, right? The government wasn't built, wasn't organized, wasn't whatever you want to put it for them.
No.
So
you mean back then or now?
Even till now.
No, never.
Most of the big businesses in Jamaica are not Jamaican owned, and the profits don't stay in Jamaica. All the big businesses.
That's a different topic, but we're going to talk about that because we have to shed some light on that. But I want to thank Stephanie for coming here and avoiding some of the questions and take herself out of shoes.
Avoid no question. I'm not going to no criminal. Not even a mind.
She has a lot of positive thinking.
You have to protect the mind, man.
No, but the mind is a place where though you have two sides, the left and the right.
We have the good and the good. Good and the good.
But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Do the right thing. Click the like, click the share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to My Opinion. Richie, big up yourself. Stephanie, big up yourself.
Yeah, man, big up yourself too.
Same place. Steph.
Bye.
Do it.
Respect.
All right, blessed.
All right.